Hello, successful people. Welcome back to the Iron Fire Success channel. I'm DK.
And I'm Mo.
Thank you to our subscribers.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Do you have too much stuff in your closet?
Well, in today's video, I'm going to share with you the 8-step method I use to declutter my closet and purge excess clothes, shoes, and handbags. Check it out. The first step in purging an overabundance of clothing, shoes, and handbags is to set your intention. That's step one. And by doing that, I mean spend a little bit of time thinking about what's motivating you to do this purge. Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel overrun by your stuff? Do you have things in multiple rooms and under the bed and all kinds of stashing and hiding places like I did? Do you have a new phase of life that you're entering and you need to make room for it? Or do you simply just not have space, and I don't, for all of the belongings that you have, and you want to start a new chapter and start a new beginning and form new habits? Whatever your intention is, take 30 minutes, and I recommend 30 so you don't get analysis paralysis. Take out a sheet of paper and write them down. These will be your guiding principles as you continue through the purge. Okay, now that you've set your intention, it's time to move on to step 2, which is to make the purge plan. My purge plan had 2 parts. Part 1 is I figured out what were the criteria I would use to figure out what I was going to keep or not. Part 2 was what was I going to do with the things that I didn't keep. So my part 1 actually had 4 subparts to it, which I'm going to share with you. Size, lifestyle, color, and purpose. By that I meant if I have clothes here that are in 3 different sizes, let me just tell you that right now, and possibly 4. So if it isn't a size that I've had on in the last 2 years, then it's got to go. I'm not going to save clothes just in case my weight fluctuates anymore. I'm just going to face some realities and make some decisions. That's going to be it. The second is color. So when I was looking through my closet, and you can see behind me right now, I am definitely a fan of matching a lot of things. I would be matching shoes and purses and a whole bunch of stuff. And I just figured, if I just made some decisions on certain colors I'm going to keep and will become my theme colors, then I'll have a pop of color in my blouses maybe and some sweaters, but I really don't need a whole bunch of clothes in every color of the rainbow. I figure it works for your power billionaire types where you always see them in some simple staple things. I'm going to do that too. And when I go out, my go-tos are jeans. I have like gray sweats. I have khakis, white. So I figure I'm going to have my base colors for my bottom. I wear black sometimes and skirts and pants. And then I will just have blouses or sweaters that I can coordinate. I really don't need a lot of dresses. I do wear them to church, so I'll keep some of those in mind. But the less colors of the rainbow I have, the less accessories and shoes and purses and things I really need to support that. So that's color. Lifestyle was another one. So 2 years ago, actually a little more than 2 years ago now, since the COVID pandemic hit and everything was shut down, I started working full-time remotely from home. That means all of the suits and dresses and shoes and boots and all of these work and office outfits that I had, I really don't wear. I still need to keep some nice jackets and some nice blouses and sweaters for those Microsoft Teams calls and Zoom calls. But I rarely ever go into the office anymore, so I'm just not in situations where I need office clothes. So for me, that was one way of making the cut. The other way was purpose. So I moved from the East Coast to Texas, and I have a lot of boots and scarves and gloves and hats and coats and all of these wool, suits and sweaters and skirts that are meant for a winter climate that just doesn't exist here. So that's another way for me to be able to make the cut as to what I'll keep and don't keep. Now, as to making some decisions about what you're going to do with what you don't keep, I recommend you doing this up front so that this way you won't have the stuff around you longer for you to actually backslide and take some stuff back. Another thing that you can do with your clothing and items you don't want is to donate. There are a lot of programs out here, a lot of social service programs that exist, church programs where you can donate your excess clothing, shoes, handbags, and purses to people who would really be able to benefit from that. And if you think about how you'd be helping out others in your community, that might provide you with some motivation to help donate some things you might otherwise have a hard time parting with. There's also different consignment shops. There's ThredUp online. There's Clothes Mentor here where you can take clothes in and they'll pay you for it. And there's also these online sales sites like Poshmark. Now, I started a Poshmark store about 2 months ago because there were a lot of things that I had a psychological hard time parting with and giving away because I was thinking about how much money I spent on it or how special it was to me. But honestly, it really is a little bit more work than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not going to do it for long. I'm just going to set myself a time for 1 year. And after that, anything I still have, I'm going to donate. Okay, we're on step 3 of the purge now. Step 3 is to set up the scene for the purge. Have a comfortable chair, something to drink, and get out some empty bins and boxes. If you don't have any, it's fine for you to just make piles on the floor, but have a couple of boxes at least, because anything that you are not going to keep, you're going to put it in that box, so that way you can easily just put it in the back of your car and donate it, or send it out to ThredUp or somewhere like that. Okay, I'm going to show you what I set up. Here are some of the bins that I set up, and I have some plastic bags here as well to hold the things that I took out of my closet. This is my son's old summer camp trunk. I also used a chair here when I didn't have any more space to put things. And keep in mind, people, this isn't even all of the stuff, but I'm just giving you an idea of the way that I set this up. So now that I have my comfortable chair right here, got this chair, I have something to drink, I have my bins and all of my stuff around me. Now it's time to go on to step 4. And you can see I already got past a couple of these steps, so I'm going to share with you what they are, but then to show you how this turned out. So step 4 is to take everything out that you own and categorize it in a bin or box according to what it is. So here is my bin that has skirts in it. You see we have a lot of denim, and there's some shorts and summertime stuff in there. This bag is nothing but bathing suits and beach cover-ups. I mean, I didn't even realize I had that much, and actually that's not even all of it. This bin here is like evening wear and formal wear. That's not even all of it. This one right here, I have tops and some sweaters. That's not even all of it. Here I have some of the suits and dresses. And on this chair, I have some wool skirts and dresses and winter stuff and jackets. And I just took out a couple of the coats right here just so I can show you what I have. So I categorized everything in a bin or a bag or some type of container. And the reason why I did that first is because I wanted a way of being able to see everything that I had. You'll also figure out how much of the same stuff that you own when you have it separated into categories. So now, once I have things in a bin, and it's in that same category, the next thing I did was start applying my criteria. Remember, my criteria were size, does it fit my lifestyle, do I need all these colors, and what's the purpose, right? So automatically, anything in here, when I look at it, I go to my 4 criteria written down and go, okay, does this still fit? Is it my size? Do I need this wool sweater? Does it fit the lifestyle I have? Do I need that suit for work? No, I don't. And how many bathing suits do I really own in this bag? And when you start looking at the things that you own, you'll see how many of the same things you have. So I have this brown dress that's now a size that doesn't fit. I have this dress that I never had on because it never fit. I have this dress, which I think is now out of style, so I'm not going to wear that. I have this blue dress, very pretty, but doesn't fit. And I found out by going through this stuff, I have a tendency to buy a lot of the same kind of looking thing. So I'm not going to use this suit anymore. Here's another suit. And this is filled with office dresses that either don't fit, I'll never wear again. Maybe some of them I never had on. Styles that don't even, I don't know if it made sense when I bought it, but it's just an abundance of things that I have. And when I finish doing this, oh, I didn't even get to the pile of winter clothes and coats. Do I need a red leather bomber jacket in Texas? I don't think so. So once you start going through your stuff, you take out what you know that you're not going to keep and throw it into the box that you have for the not going to keep pile. That way, when you finish, you can just go ahead and put that in the car and take it to Goodwill. So once I finished applying my criteria, things, wrong lifestyle, wrong color, wrong size, wrong season, not meant for Texas. One thing I want you to do in step 5 when you're applying this criteria is allow yourself to have an emotional reaction, but don't let it become a criteria. What I mean by that is I can remember some of these things that are in here. I remember I wore this dress to my friend's wedding. You know, I remember wearing this dress to another wedding. I remember going out, maybe wearing this dress on a New Year's Eve. Allow yourself to have an emotional reaction, but don't let it take the place of a criteria for keeping something. Allow yourself to feel the feeling of, oh, I paid so much money for this and I can't see donating it. Or the fact that you may have got something from a particular person in your life as a gift and you can't see yourself parting with it. When you start having those feelings, just remind yourself of the goal and your intention, and to try as much as possible to keep your eye on the prize. Okay, now we're up to step 6, which is now that you've reduced the things in each bin to based on your criteria. Remember, mine were size, color, purpose, and lifestyle. What you should have left in those bins are the things that you think fit the criteria that you're going to keep. Step 6 is to go through those bins and make the cut. Like I said, from doing that, I realized I had a tendency to buy similar things of similar styles and similar colors. And so if I look through my bin, let's say of dresses, how many black dresses do I actually need that look almost the same? Try to reduce what you have left even more by asking yourself, how many of these do I really need? Once you finish doing that, it's time to move on to step 7. Step 7, take the bag or box of things that you are going to donate and put them in your car now. The objective is for you to not have these things laying around your house any longer than necessary for you to backslide or change your mind. When I decided to start my Poshmark store, I took pictures of as much stuff as possible and posted it on Poshmark. That way, if I already put it out there in the universe for sale, I couldn't possibly take, well, at least I could, but I'm not going to take it back and try to keep it. I must admit there are quite a few things that I hadn't taken pictures of yet that have crept their way back into my closet. But if you put them in a box and donate it or send it to ThredUp and get rid of it ASAP, then the temptation to actually backslide and take things and put them back will be diminished. Congratulations, you've made it to the last and final step of the purge, which is to reward yourself for a job well done. And I don't mean by going shopping, I mean by doing something that's nice and relaxing and rewarding. Treat yourself to a spa day or be with friends and loved ones. Share with them the progress you made and encourage them to do the same. Before I go, I want to share some tips on how to maintain your purge that you work so hard to do. Tip number 1 is to share the information with others. Brag about it, tell people. It helps to have accountability partners to keep yourself motivated to maintain your purge. The second is donate or send to ThredUp. I feel like Poshmark, with these things in the house with me still, I do have a tendency to pick up something to put it on Poshmark and think that I want to keep it, and a couple of things have made their way back into my closet. Tip number 3 is to have a rule that if you bring in one thing, you have to take one thing out. That will actually cut down on overflow and excess and help to keep your closet orderly and well maintained and organized. The final tip is to allow yourself time to do this more than one time a year. You may not be able to do it all in one sitting. It might be something that you have to say that you're going to devote some time twice a year or maybe quarterly in order to make sure you get it all done. I hope you use these 8 steps to declutter your closet and make room for a new chapter in your life.
Please subscribe for more content about new home construction and model home tours in and around San Antonio.
And follow us as we turn our house into a home.
As always, until next time, be peaceful, stay prayerful, and count your blessings.